Now it's time for TIPisodes with quick tips you should know. Techniques you can implement into your workflow right here on A Tale, oh yeah, A Tale of Two Hygienists.
Hello, this is Erika Flateau, RDH, with a TIPisode on how to take back your lunch break. So, hygienists, this is the common issue in our day. I don't have enough time. How can I have enough time when I'm running from patient to patient and I don't get to have my lunch break because I spend it trying to catch up, write notes, maybe go to the bathroom, or I'm staying after at the end of my day when I'm just totally smoked and I want to get home to my family or my other obligations. It was me for years, and I have figured out some foolproof strategies to have this not be the way. I am getting to work with my room set up, taking care of my patients on time, every time, with the exception of maybe a few minutes here or there, taking my lunch break in its entirety and leaving on time at the end of the day unless I decide to stay around and chit-chat with my coworkers for a little while. But it's not out of obligation for tasks that haven't been completed during the day. The way I'm doing this is a couple of key points, but the number one thing that's going to enable you to do this is to believe in your skills, have confidence to understand that you are doing the most you can with the time that you are given, and then also the autonomy and the responsibility to take control of your own operatory and your own time. I used to believe that if I couldn't get the job done, no matter how the patient presented, it was a reflection on my skills. When I started to truly believe that I was doing everything in my power to take great care of my patients in the time that I was given, and understand that the patients have personal responsibility. We don't put the calculus on their teeth. We don't decide to not come in for 3 years. We don't decide to be late to our appointments. We don't decide to not have our home care be what it is. That is their choice. And they can see how hard you're working. And especially when you have the confidence to say to a patient, hey, you can see how hard we're working together today to get this accomplished. We had to do some catch up on your imaging and on your charting. We needed a good comprehensive examination with the doctor. And I'm really only left with so much time to take care of the buildup on your teeth. And of course, I'm speaking in lay terms right now because I'm talking to a patient. So I really need you to come back because I want to do a good job for you. And that is how we're going to have success together. And essentially, say they're 3 years overdue. I say to them, essentially, we're making up for 6 cleanings, if they've been on a 6-month recare. And they can wrap their head around that and understand, she doesn't have a magic wand. She has a limited amount of time with me, and she wants to do a good job. And that creates the understanding and the value for them to return. Now, I charge for what I do that day. Say I'm able to do a debridement or scaling in the presence of inflammation or a prophy. Maybe they are a prophy, whatever. And then you're having them back for some isolated scaling or root planing or whatever extra you need time to do. It is absolutely okay. And to be okay with that. That is how I've run on time. And then also, running on time includes your credibility. If you're always bringing a patient back late and seating them late, and then you tell them that you're out of time, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Our doctors can come in for that exam as soon as we have taken a look around, taken our photos, taken our imaging, done our perio chart, whatever we need to do. They can be given notice, hey, I've gathered all the information. We still have a half an hour in this appointment. Please feel free to come in at any time. And a lot of times the doctor will come right in at that time, and I still have time after finishing with the exam to complete my scaling or whatever I'm left with for time that day. And that includes stopping a few minutes, up to 10 minutes before the hour is up, to go ahead and flip the room properly and seat my next patient on time. Finally, another amazing strategy that I have come up with for myself has been my note taking. How difficult is it for us to try to write notes at the end of the day after all our patients are done, or from little things we've written down on Post-it notes or on our routing slip, to try to remember to put in their notes? And when you're working on the patient, I think, oh, there's no way I'm going to forget this later on to put this in. I'll remember. This is really, really significant. Oh no. 3 patients later in my day, it's gone. It's gone from my brain. And the time spent trying to recall what it is takes me more time than if I just accomplish my notes within that patient appointment. That's another one of my limiting beliefs. I believed that the notes were on me. That note documentation was not part of the patient appointment. Heck yeah, it is. That note and documentation and proper charting reduces your liability and helps you take better care of the patient. What happens when you go to the doctor's office? When you're at the doctor's office, they pull the computer over, scan their badge, and start typing while they're talking to you. And the reason is because they have to move on to their next patient and be done with that documentation. But it has to get in there. The care cannot be compromised. So they are talking to you, and patients are used to this. They're used to going to their doctor and having them on the computer entering that information. So what I do is I pull right up to my computer keyboard and I, wherever it is positioned in the office, sometimes I have to apologize to the patient and say, the way this room is set up, it's a little bit behind you, but I am definitely listening to you. And I'm managing their perception. If I'm just typing away and not acknowledging them, they don't feel seen and heard. But if I'm listening to them and asking them questions that go along with my hygiene template that I have in our dental software, starting with their health history, asking them questions about their chief concern, talking to them about an outstanding treatment plan, looking over their oral hygiene instructions from their last visit, talking to them about their last visit with the restorative doctor. How is that feeling? All of these things I am typing in at this time. Are you wearing your night guard? Do you have a history of going to the orthodontist? Oh, I see we referred you for something. It's all there, and I'm able to update my chart entry right then and there while having a conversation with my patient. And then at the end of the appointment, maybe a few more exam notes are entered once the doctor's done his or her exam, and a treatment plan has to be altered. But that patient does not leave my chair until that note is entered, even with new patients. On existing patients, I can copy and paste and then update my note. When it has to do with a new patient, that chart entry is from scratch, but that's okay. I'm sitting there with a template and I'm interviewing my patient as I'm filling out that chart entry. Then I am able to take them up to the front and hand them off to our schedule coordinator or our office manager, and my brain can move on to the next patient. And when I've done that, it's like I've just sealed that envelope and put it in the mail. And there is no more thinking about that patient for the rest of the day. And my next patient has my full attention. And at the end of the day, I'm not bogged down trying to recall what we did. This is a mental break for me as well throughout the day. My lunch break becomes relaxation time, not catch-up time. And honestly, it's not a selfish thing to do, even though it does serve me very well. It is something that makes me more available and more present for my patients. This has been a TIPisode on some strategies to make your day a little more efficient, reduce stress, reduce the burnout you're feeling, and keep you on time. I wish I had more time to talk because I have even more ideas, but if you want to reach out to me and talk about your personal situation, I'd be more than happy to help, especially some of you new grads that are really struggling with time management. My email is erikaflateau@gmail.com. That's ERIKAFLATEAU@gmail.com. Or you can go to my website at renewconsultingservices.com and have a great time with your patients and enjoy your lunch break.
A tale of two hygienists.